Let me bring in our White House correspondent, Monica Alba. Our business correspondent, Brian Chung, is standing by for a reality check, too. And Monica, this clearly seemed aimed at an American public that, economic indicators aside, feels bad about the economy, feels like they don't have a good grip on their money here and the way that the president is handling it. And that's based on recent polling. That's based on some of the quantitative figures that we have seen now consistently over the last several months that the president seems to be aware of.
Absolutely, Hallie. And I think this is an argument you've heard from the president's top officials, that for people who may feel that way, their message is sort of hang in there, that eventually you're going to start to feel the benefits, they argue, of the Trump economy. But it was just a couple of weeks ago that one of his top economic advisors said publicly and on camera that this is, in 2026, now the Trump economy, that the Trump economy, essentially arguing, has arrived. And so they have that sort of ownership of it. And again, that is sort of part of their strategy here, while again telling people that it may just take a little bit of time for some of these policies, they argue, some of the legislation that they've passed, for it to actually feel like it's having an effect on people's lives. But the president mentioning there while he's been traveling, and just now moments ago, the tariffs, for instance, Hallie, which of course has contributed to some prices that have gone up, certainly nationwide on certain items. He, of course, tomorrow could face a very significant decision from the Supreme Court on his tariffs, depending on whether that is something we get tomorrow or beyond that. And the president really saying he hopes he wins that case. He has tried to talk about some potential backup plans if the Supreme Court rules against his tariff policy. But that certainly is also weighing on the White House, because that's a big component and a big cornerstone of his economic policy and what he has tried to do during this first year in office. Next week, Hallie, the president is going to be traveling to Davos, to the World Economic Forum, to be meeting with some of the top elite business members and leaders, and also foreign leaders, to discuss this from a global point of view and a global perspective. But it comes, again, at a moment where there has been pressure for him to speak more about domestic economic policy as people raise those concerns. But that is where he's going to be as, again, we get close to marking that 1 year in office in this second term.
That's right.
Hallie.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or watch live on our YouTube channel.